Okay. Hello, everyone. I just returned from watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then I came back and I wrote down a rough script. So I'm going to make this video a little bit more structured than my usual videos because I feel that this movie is so good that it deserves a little bit more structure. So I'm going to try and keep this video as spoiler free as possible, but as you can imagine, that's pretty difficult to do with a movie such as Doctor Strange, where so many things are kept secret. So I'll try my best, but if some slip ups happen, please do forgive me. That being said, let's get into the video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this movie a PG-13 horror movie? Now I would say yes and no. Let me explain. This movie is very much a very action oriented movie and a very magic oriented movie, but simultaneously it's a very much emotional deep dive into Wanda and Doctor Strange and the parallels and differences between them, right? What they are capable of, what they're, what they would do if placed under certain situations, to put it that way. But that being said, there are certainly very heavy horror elements in this, and this feels like a Sam Raimi film, as something like Evil Dead or something of that sort. And while yes, this movie is rated PG-13, as you can see anywhere, but it pushes the boundary to such an extent. Like there are so many things in this movie where I was like, "Whoa, they showed that." Now, without giving away any spoilers, there's like a person who is completely cut in half, by the waist. One person's skull is crushed. Someone is trapped under rubble. Someone and another person is like completely stretched and turned into spaghetti. And yeah, all of this is shown. I mean, the blood and guts are kept to a minimal, or they are not shown at all actually. But yeah, it does, like it's very dark for a Marvel movie, and that gives me very much hope that soon enough there will be a R-rated side of Marvel, and so characters like Blade and Moon Knight can get a bit more justice than they would have gotten in the PG-13 run. And this is a little bit of an underrated point, but I kind of realize now why Jake Lockley was not shown in the first season of Moon Knight, and it was reserved for the post credit. Because come to think of it, Jake Lockley would make the show a very R-rated show, wouldn't he? And the hope is obviously that there is a R-rated side of Marvel going forward, and with that, we get to see more of the violent characters. Okay, moving on to the next section. Oh wait! I missed something. Yeah, and yeah, this while this is also there, all of this said, there is also very deep. That there is elements of possession, demonic monsters, and all of these things. So yeah, so it's very heavy on the horror side. Sorry, went a little off thing there, but anyways, moving on to the next. So talking about the themes of this movie, I would say first of all, most of what the trailers show in this movie is in the like first 10 to 20 minutes of the movie, or 25 at max, 15, I don't know, doesn't matter. It's in the beginning of the movie, except for a few bangers like Zombie Strange. He comes very late into the movie, although he's not really zombie, it's really a possessed version of Strange. I'll talk more about that in my spoilers video. There is Sinister Strange, which who also comes very late into the movie. There's Dark Wanda. There are scenes of the Illuminati with Professor X's, the back of Professor X's head. That also comes pretty like deep into the movie. But apart from that, most of it is pretty early on. The main themes around this movie are of emotional well-being and trauma, along with healing. So again, without getting too much into spoilers, one Strange is sort of the dark reflection of what the villain of the movie is, or rather, she's a dark reflection of Strange itself, and sort of the worst aspects of Strange as they can be. I won't reveal who the villain is, but you guys can probably already guess who it is, if you know. you've been following the rumor mills and all of these things. And America Chavez in this movie is again shown to be very scared of her powers. She keeps saying that she can't control them, but it is really revealed that it's more so that she was scared of what will happen if she uses them and if she's able to control them. Like there are certain events that are caused in her life which I won't reveal by these powers, because she has these powers. And on the same note, if you think about it, it is her powers which are leading to her being sort of chased by these demonic monsters. And like her recent, more basically her most recent trauma is cause of her powers. So which is why she's very scared of them and doesn't want to use them as much. But again, as you can guess, she has to be able to use them eventually, and be able to control them, if nothing else, so that she doesn't accidentally do something wrong with them. And it's emotional healing which gets her to that point. Now, Strange's line, "There is no other way," is repeated many, many, many times in this movie. And there are like whole new meanings added to this line. Again, not to go too much into spoilers, there is, towards the end of the movie, there is like a whole new meaning and a nice flip added to it, where he once again says, he's like faced with a difficult choice and he says, yeah, there is no other way. But if you read into the subtext, you realize, yes, there is no other way but to find a different way. And, take of that what you will. Again, I reserve that for the spoilers video that I'm going to be doing. Moving forward. Yeah. So the action the action part of this movie, it's very magic heavy. Again, pushes very heavily on the boundary of PG-13. As I said, there are men split, not men, there are people split down the middle. There are skulls crushed, people buried under the rubble. Like, it's horrific, like, scenes. One guy's neck is twisted, and holy shit. Yeah, it's very horror focused, very psychedelic, very visceral. It doesn't pull its punches at all. Much of this I will reserve for the next section, which I decided, because this is the focus of the movie, so it should deserve its own section, and that is the magic section. Now, with the magic, this is what I wanted to see, and I guess many others included wanted to see from Doctor Strange 1. This really gives more and more powers to Doctor Strange. There are like complete reality bending spells. There is this clip of where this invisible monster is wreaking havoc, and Doctor Strange kind of flips the, like, kind of reveals the monster to be what he is. There is telekinetic powers, uh, and there is this entire section which is dedicated to reflection based magic, as in I don't want to say mirror world, but it's like, the classic horror scene of how someone steps out of the mirror and then pulls them back inside. Yeah, that. And that scene is like very horrifying. And in this scene, they try to do what is best, like they try to cover up the reflections and all. Obviously they don't succeed. And there is like a mind to mind battle between two mind based characters. Again, we're getting very close to spoilers here, but trying to avoid it. uh, Dark magic is very much focused on, which is what gets me excited for it. There might be a darker, more grittier side of MCU moving forward. uh, the examples of this dark magics are like possession, making dead bodies walk. There's also physical magic. What I mean by that is, so in Infinity War, for example, there are these scenes where Wanda sort of uses her spells as, like, they don't affect until and unless the spells connect. Like, it's there is telekinesis, and of course there's this portion where you like throw the spell, and until and unless the red ball of energy or whatever connects, there's no actual effect. There's an entire magical battle around Kamartaj, which is teased in the trailers. They try to set up barriers, and it was again, not to get into spoilers once again. I know I'm. It's very difficult to skirt around this, but there is this part which got me thinking, like, huh. So your barrier blocks against physical spells, but not any other kind of spells. Interesting. Why is that the case? I mean, it's a magical barrier, right? It should block any spells of any nature. Why can any magic go through it? And some magic does, and eventually that destroys the barrier. To talk about the story, this is definitely after Spider-Man No Way Home, as a certain reference is made to Spider-Man. And yeah, there's a very funny scene where America Chavez discusses with Doctor Strange if Spider-Man looks like a spider and where he shoots his webs from. Moving on, and yes, as it is revealed in the trailers, Stephen does attend Christine's wedding, and I don't consider this to be a spoiler because it is, well, it does play a lot of there are certain elements of the wedding, there are certain lines spoken in the wedding which play a big part in the movie, but the wedding as a event doesn't play that big of a role. And In this movie, in this wedding, in this movie, what the hell am I doing? In this wedding, the major question of the movie is raised, that is, um, are you happy with what you have? And if so, can you stay happy knowing that there are other versions of you out there which have what you want? Which is a very difficult and very deep question. And no prizes for getting no, I'll not say that. Reserve that for the spoilers, which is a very difficult and deep question. Uh, and this question is the main focus of the story. It is very fast paced, had very little fat, if any. And also, whatever is canon now, because I mean, we all saw Agent Carter in the final few trailers or TV spots that they dropped, didn't they? While I say it's fast paced, it's also not rushed. It's because which could be a very big problem with a fast paced movie. It's not rushed. This The story is very well crafted, is what I would say. uh, Now moving on, let's talk a little bit about the characters. So Strange, Stephen Strange as a character, he still struggles with making hard decisions. This story focuses very heavy on dissecting Stephen as a character, and the watch of Steven, which is focused very prominent in the trailer. It doesn't feature very heavily in the movie, but its state is used as a very good metaphor for Stephen's state. I will explain more about that when I make the spoiler video. Uh, Wong is still the Sorcerer Supreme. uh, he and Strange are very much shown to be friends. He even raises concern when he learns that Stephen went to his former lover, Christine's wedding. And as a whole, Wong sort of represents the trope of the less talented but more worthy master. What I mean by that is he's less powerful, less talented, less quick witted than Strange. Uh, so if push comes to shove and a battle is taking place, obviously Strange is the best option. But being that he's a more stable person, he is very much so more suited to be a leader. And okay, no, that's a spoiler. I don't want to get into it. Yeah, yeah, he's very much so more suited to be a leader. And he and Stephen throughout the movie form a fantastic duo, as usual. Marika Chavez, played very brilliantly by person whose name I will not butcher. Um, Very much a mentor-mentee relationship with Stephen. As I said before, she says she can't control her powers, but events prove that she is afraid to control her powers as they cause certain events which cause her pain, and are also the reason for why she's being chased across the multiverse by demonic monsters. Wanda Maximoff slash Scarlet Witch. This is going to be very hard because trying to keep the spoilers light. So she is very, very much overpowered, forced to be reckoned with. I can't say much in this part except that she's played brilliantly by Elizabeth Olsen. And yes, her variants feature in the story too. And so do her children, who play a big part in the story, but are not that much on screen. They don't have as much screen time. Okay, I missed anything? No. Okay, all that being said, in conclusion, this is a very high concept, high paced, high concept, fast paced, high action movie with a surprisingly high amount of emotional depth. Every single scene conveys so much, so many emotions, so many ideas, and it conveys it in a way that keeps the audience engaged, and at the same time it's very action heavy. It's very like the way this movie has found this balance is very good. It wastes very little time moving from like one point to another, and yet it never even comes close to feeling rushed. The story is very well crafted to suit both the larger universe, or multiverse I should say now, of Marvel, and the movie as a whole. This makes me very excited to see what lies ahead. Uh, as I said, because of the very close to R-rated nature of this movie, and also simultaneously because of what it did set up, and hopefully rewatch it when I get the chance or on digital release. Although I would definitely suggest you go and catch it on theaters if you can. So, did you watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? In the Multiverse of Madness, what the fuck is wrong with me? What did you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. And if you reach this part of the video, hi, my name is Gopal Chakrabarti. I'm G.C. Nightwalker. You may know me as G.C. Nightwalker. I am a self published author. This is the novel that I wrote. Uh, I have a short summary of this in the description, and links to buy this will also be in the description. So if that's your thing, do check it out. If you like this movie, you'll definitely like this. And that is not for me to toot my own horn. I'm being serious because, okay, enough. So again, if you like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, share this video with your friends. And yeah, I look forward to meeting again in another video. With that said, have a nice day, and goodbye.